Corroborate. To support with evidence or authority. Confirm. Reinforce. Validate. Authenticate. The historian had to corroborate the accuracy of the ancient text. The lawyer had to corroborate the evidence with witness statements. Inclination. A feeling of wanting to do something. Propensity. Proneness. Partiality. Tendency. Human beings have a natural inclination toward spirituality and faith. He had neither the time nor the inclination to think of other things. Standpoint. An attitude to a particular issue. Viewpoint. Perspective. Outlook. Stance. From a purely practical standpoint, that makes no sense whatsoever. The concept of time travel is hard to conceive from a scientific standpoint. Reasoning. The process of thinking thoughtful way. Logic. Thought process. Deduction. Consideration. The new decision was arbitrary and lacked any logical reasoning. Your argument should be grounded in logical reasoning and evidence. Dilemma. A problem involving a difficult choice. Predicament. Conundrum. Confusion. Quandary. When facing a dilemma, it's necessary to talk to someone honestly. The ethical dilemma can interfere during the decision-making process. Negotiation. Discussion aimed at reaching an agreement. Compromise. Settlement. Discussion. Mediation. Justice can be achieved through compromise and negotiation. The ambiguity of the contract made negotiation challenging. Plethora. A large or excessive amount of something. Excess. Overabundance. Too many. Superfluity. The bookstore had a plethora of novels and non-fiction books. Being in the city offers a plethora of opportunities for college students. Debunk. To show that something is not true. Challenge. Disprove. Invalidate. Discredit. We need to debunk the idea that only rich people can be happy. We need to debunk the idea that only boys can be good at science. Amendment. Change made to a document or statement. Correction. Modification. Revision. Alteration. In order to change the Constitution, we need to pass an amendment. The 19th Amendment granted woman suffrage in the United States. Resentment. Anger that someone feels about something. Bitterness. Hostility. Animosity. Indignation. Holding a negative idea about someone can lead to resentment. The principle of forgiveness is to let go of anger and resentment. Dwindle. To become smaller in size or amount. Diminish. Decline. Lessen. Reduce. The energy for the all-nighter began to dwindle as the sun rose. The student's attention span began to dwindle during the long lecture. Inference. A conclusion that's drawn from the evidence. Deduction. Presumption. Assumption. Conclusion. The scientist made an inference about the behavior of the animal. Look at the picture and make an inference about what's happening. Efficacy. Capacity for producing a desired result. Effectiveness. Potency. Strength. Usefulness. The efficacy of the new therapy was measured by patient feedback. The efficacy of the new software was evaluated by a team of experts. Prolific. Producing a great number or amount. Abundant. Copious. High volume. Plentiful. The prolific composer wrote over 200 pieces of music in his lifetime. Despite his prolific success in business, he remains humble and grounded. Amplify. To make larger, greater, or stronger. Augment. Magnify. Intensify. Escalate. The microphone will amplify your voice so everyone can hear you. The writer used metaphors to amplify the meaning of their story. Handy. Able to be used for a practical purpose. Useful. Convenient. User-friendly. Functional. Having a reliable study group can come in handy during finals week. Knowing how to use a sewing kit can come in handy for fixing clothes. Thrive. To prosper, be fortunate or successful. Prosper. Flourish. Bloom. Proliferate. Children can thrive under the guidance of a good teacher. The plants near the beach thrive on the moisture of the ocean. Primitive. Relating to the earliest age or period. Old. Ancient. Prehistoric. Earliest. The primitive weapons were deadly, but they were also works of art. The primitive language was limited, but it conveyed deep meaning. Affiliate. Bring into close association or connection. Associate. Combine. Amalgamate. Amalgamate. The affiliate commission is based on a percentage of the sale. We can affiliate with a travel agency to offer vacation packages. Outweigh. Be heavier, greater, or more significant than. Supersede. Surpass. Be greater than. Exceed. The benefits of a positive attitude outweigh the negativity of others. The long-term benefits of afforestation outweigh the short-term costs. Exacerbate. To make something that is already bad worse. Provoke. Bother. Become worse. Aggravate. Ignoring climate change can exacerbate environmental issues. Consuming high-carb meals can exacerbate diabetes symptoms. Deception. The act of hiding the truth. Fraud. Cheating. Deceitfulness. Deceitfulness. The forensic evidence helped uncover the deception in the murder case. The truth always seems to persist underneath the layers of deception. Obsession. Having a powerful feeling towards something. Compulsion. Fascination. Addiction. Passion. The obsession with material possessions can lead to unhappiness. I have an obsession with reading every book by my favorite author. Speculation. Guessing possible answers to a question. Conjecture. Assumption. Supposition. Hypothesis. The weather forecast was based on scientific data, not speculation. Breaking down the facts will help us separate truth from speculation. Redundant. No longer needed or useful. Useless. Unnecessary. Unwanted. Needless. We need to edit these files to remove any redundant information. Several staff were made redundant to meet a shortfall of funds. Adamant. Not willing to change an opinion or decision. Inflexible. Uncompromising. Stubborn. Unshakable. The principal was adamant that the school follow the dress code. The boss was adamant that the project be completed by the deadline. Conservation. The protection of the natural environment. Preservation. Maintenance. Saving. Supervision. Energy conservation reduces your fuel bills and helps the environment. Recycling is an important part of the conservation of resources. Alignment. A position of agreement or alliance. Arrangement. Positioning. Sequence. Adjustment. Your thoughts and emotions should be in alignment with your actions. The student's internship was in alignment with their desired career path. Formula. A conventional method for achieving something. Theory. Principle. Equation. Blueprint. They had to memorize about 20 different formulas for the math test. Discussion question: what do you think is the formula for success in life? Elaborate. Explain something in a more detailed way. Detailed. Complicated. Thorough. Complex. They are making the most elaborate preparations for the wedding. Ancient Roman hairstyles were often elaborate and intricate. Ominous. Having a menacing or threatening aspect. Inauspicious. Menacing. Sinister. Threatening. The darkness of the sky during a thunderstorm was ominous. The strange noises coming from the basement were ominous. Privilege. A special advantage for a group of people. Advantage. Benefit. Prerogative. Entitlement. Being born into a wealthy family is a privilege that not everyone has. Some people fear growing old, but I believe it's a privilege to die old. Diversity. Being composed of differing elements. Variety. Manifoldness. Multiplicity. Diversification. There is a need for greater diversity and choice in education. The exhibition is designed to reflect the diversity of the nation. Assurance. A positive declaration intended to give confidence. Promise. Guarantee. Assertion. Pledge. Quality assurance is an important part of the manufacturing process. To be an effective leader, one must speak with assurance and conviction. Specimen. A piece of a sample selected for examination. Sample. Illustration. Fragment. Embodiment. The biologist studied a specimen of a virus under a microscope. We can draw pictures of a specimen to remember what it looks like. Constraint. A holding back of one's feelings or actions. Restriction. Impediment. Hindrance. Limitation. The constraint of resources prevented us from achieving our goals. The financial constraint prevented him from pursuing higher education. Intervention. Interference by a state in another's affairs. Mediation. Involvement. Arbitration. Interposition. The engineer's intervention improved the design of the building. Violence can be prevented through early intervention and support. Legend. A story coming down from the past. Mythology. Tradition. Folklore. Fairy tale. The legend of Hercules has been passed down for generations. If you want to be remembered as a legend, leave a lasting impact. Contempt. A strong feeling of disliking. Loathing. Abhorrence. Disapproval. Disdain. The authority has contempt for those who don't respect the environment. If you violate the rules of the court, you may be held in contempt. Eligible. Having the right to do or obtain something. Qualified. Competent. Appropriate. Allowed. To qualify as eligible, you must meet the minimum age requirement. Only students who show good citizenship are eligible for the award. Gorgeous. Splendid or sumptuous in appearance. Attractive. Bewitching. Lovely. Spectacular. A little bit of makeup can make me feel gorgeous and confident. When I achieve a personal goal, I feel gorgeous and accomplished. Nurture. Care for and protect someone or something. Raise. Nourish. Support. Look after. We must nurture our curiosity in order to grow our knowledge. We must nurture our mental health in order to grow emotionally. Elevate. Raise to a higher place or position. Heighten. Uplift. Advance. Upgrade. Art has the power to elevate ugliness into something meaningful. Reading books can elevate your vocabulary and comprehension skills. Salvage. The saving or rescue of any goods, property. Recover. Restore. Get back. Reclaim. The farmer was able to salvage some crops from the storm damage. The firefighters worked hard to salvage the house from the fire. Eradicate. To get rid of something completely. Obliterate. Abolish. Erase. Suppress. Vaccines have helped to eradicate diseases like smallpox and polio. It's time to eradicate racism and build a society based on equality. Refute. To prove to be false or erroneous. Deny. Contradict. Disclaim. Disprove. The historian was able to refute the myth with historical records. The debate team worked hard to refute the opposing team's argument. Deploy. To arrange in a position of readiness. Position. Employ. Organize. Station. The company will deploy a new team to handle customer queries. The library will deploy around 10 new study rooms for students. Inflation. The rate at which prices for goods and services rise. Economic decline. Depression. Standstill. Recession. The inflation rates have caused the price of goods to increase. Reducing inflation is central to the government's economic policy. Backlash. A strong, negative reaction to something. Reaction. After effect. Chain reaction. Retaliation. The brand experienced a backlash for its misleading advertising. The company faced public backlash for breaching ethical standards. Impeachment. Charge someone with doing something wrong. Accusation. Prosecution. Allegation. Condemnation. The president's impeachment could impact the upcoming election. The articles of impeachment were a reflection of public outrage. Ratification. The official way to confirm something. Approval. Endorsement. Permission. Sanction. The ratification of a treaty can have significant effects on domestic law. Without ratification, a treaty is nothing more than a piece of paper. Algorithm. A set of mathematical instructions or rules. Procedure. Program. Set of rules. Method. She coded the algorithm to solve complex mathematical problems. An algorithm can help us find a missing number in a sequence. Ambiguity. Has more than one possible meaning. Uncertainty. Doubtfulness. Vagueness. Obscurity. Incorrect choice of words leads to ambiguity for the reader. To remove any ambiguity, we have to acquire more accurate evidence. Compulsory. It is required or must be done. Mandatory. Obligatory. Requisite. Imperative. Taking a foreign language class is compulsory in some colleges. Wearing a mask in public places is compulsory in some countries. Daunting. Seeming difficult to deal with in prospect. Frightening. Awesome. Alarming. Intimidating. The challenge was daunting, but she was determined to succeed. The thought of public speaking can be daunting for many people. Dormant. Inactive but capable of becoming active. Inactive. Stagnant. Inoperative. Inert. The project had to lie dormant for a while due to lack of funding. The volcano has been known to lie dormant for years before erupting. Predominant. Having superior power or influence. Foremost. Paramount. Leading. Principal. The predominant feature of the landscape is the mountain range. Israel is home to many religions, but Judaism is the predominant faith. Laconic. Using few words in a speech. Succinct. Concise. Reserved. Compact. If they were laconic in their speech, it would be more memorable. The response was laconic, but it was enough to satisfy my curiosity.